Hello, welcome to my Sunday Farm. Today I have a mukbang. I'm just drinking this muscle milk, zero sugar, 100 cal shake. It's got 20 grams of protein. Looks like this. It's chocolate. And for food, well, I made myself something that I've been craving, and kind of, I don't care, I don't really care. Like, my diet is like on point right now. Like, I'm literally on top of everything, and I don't care. I need a golden corral right now. So I made garlic breadsticks and those little raviolis, those cheese raviolis in the can. And I made myself a little pizza with Vienna sausages on the top. And that's what I'm gonna eat. But yeah, I was seeing in the news they were having like some financial crisis and like a lot of discrepancy with all the allocating of funds. And oh, forgive me, I didn't put like all this ton of makeup. I usually put on makeup for the camera. I decided not to today because today's my free day. Like, literally, I took off yesterday. I have nothing to worry about. Like, you know how you feel on Mondays? Today's that feeling that I have right now. um but yeah, they were having like a little financial thing where they didn't know um you know what to do with the federal fundings, and everybody was scared. Like, they were thinking like, oh, well, you know what, we're just gonna make the government, like, the media was like, we're just gonna make the government put all the politicians and leaders that we don't like and take their payroll. And it's like, and then like all the like people from official offices, they were like, um we're just gonna like read what we can do and work from there. And then one judge was like, you know what, I'm gonna put a stop to this, because like they wanted like the whole thing to just be implemented at once, and I think it overwhelmed everything. And usually like they'll stop all this funding just to put in one file, or they'll stop the funding to pay one uh, debt. Like, they got a bill to pay, and then it's like the world crashes or something. But it's not like this is like a routine thing. It's just, it's clout. It's clout. I'm sorry you saw all that hoopla. It's just clout. But they have no plan to cut welfare system. I don't even like the welfare system, but they have no plan to cut that. They're this side of the world, you can walk from here to there 5 billion times, and you'll see no danger to the welfare system. Okay? Trust and believe me. But yesterday, everybody's nerves were heightened. Let's get in this. Let's try this garlic bread. I'm gonna dip it first. Basically, the only thing I really was watching was like something about this suspect that got pulled from a bridge the other day. He had conducted a home invasion, jumped under the bridge, like literally under, he was sitting in like a little crevice, and they stopped the whole entire traffic for a long time. But when he got to the bridge, he was speeding so fast he had crashed, and he had a lady in his passenger seat, and she was injured, so she was just sitting there like chilling. They were all stuck in traffic and stuff. They had to get her out, had to pull him out with a crane and all these equipment. They had drones and technology out there. They had boats. I mean, you know, everybody was like rushing, like, what's going on? Where's this man? And he was just sitting there under the bridge, like literally under the bridge. And eventually got him out. He had to go to the hospital, like, because it was cold. It's like easily 20 degrees under there. And he was sitting there. He didn't want, you know. And yeah. And then yesterday also, they had like a report about ACK was like, let me get in this actual ravioli. ACK was like, you know, like he didn't really see any, he didn't hold any accountability because of his fame. You know, he's still on YouTube. Kind of like Miranda Sings. And all them. Mr. Beast and all them. So, somebody reported it and they proved it with receipts online. And yeah, people are coming out like, you know, with stories about how they never really liked him. But like I said, I had a hard time just breathing in these spaces. You know, and eventually if all that steam wore off, they just go back to collaborating with him. So, you know, they're trying to get all the people involved, including his sponsors, you know, to take responsibility. You know, and a lot of them are threatened with cancellation. And ACK is like, they're like, well, he's going to change his life now. Literally all his friends are like, he's going to change his life now. Yeah, and that's the thing when you have a bunch of friends online too. When your friends are famous too, you get away with everything, especially, you know, like if it's true, the rumors about him having ties with Jay-Z. Well, look at Jay-Z and Beyonce. All those allegations, you know, if you look at all those videos about them, they're not that, you know, they're not that far from this. You know, and I think they said that the only rapper he really was friends with was Drake, but that's not true. That's not true. Drake's not like that. Drake will pull up. Like, if he was messing with, if he was messing with ACK, you show up with ACK, you know? That's just how he is, right? Look at how he pulled up on Kanye, trying to give Kim K a lift. And back to his place. He has no audacity. Why would he have a secret friendship with ACK? That makes no sense to me. And that's like a lot of that is like really, really, really red flags for me. That there are people out there who not only believe that, you know, this weird movement amongst, you know, creators and famous people, you know, should just be ignored, but also, you know what I mean? Like, it's like a part of, you know, it's like you make it like a, like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird. It's not even the fact that you condone all that weird behavior, it's just the fact that you praise it. Like all those people that are criticizing Trump right now, you know, and I feel like, did you really, really want us to stay with that tyrant in power? Do you know how bad of an evil act she committed? Like, it's totally illegal. This alleged crimes. Kamala Harris is alleged to have committed genocide. And there's 2 courts that are seeing that case right now. They haven't stopped, you know, fact-finding. So if that's your queen, if that's your black queen, you know what I'm saying? I knew it. And I'm not just talking about what comes out your mouth. You know, what you call lip service. I'm talking about, you know, your behavior and movement. Like, it's just strange to me. Let's try this pizza. Can the president do his job? Jeez. Not only that, but everybody's so pressed about immigration. They had every opportunity they're having now to speak up about the migrant crisis during the Biden-Harris administration. By now, you know, they're not just politicizing human beings. They're creating barriers and making, you know, marking boundaries, you know, as far as they can go, because they're weaponized. You know, they're weaponized by elitists, by people who look down their nose and utilize every, you know, avenue in policy that they can, you know, piggyback off of, including brown folk, including black folk. And speaking of which, have you heard the Hainer news? Your little ragamuffin in office took her shoes off to beat a black man. that basically got jumped. Dude almost got lynched in modern times. In what, City Hall? You don't need to be careful who you pick. You idolize. You basically worshipped Kamala. And that was very scary. That was a very scary area for us. We went literally from having to having very little. And I'm going to ask you to do some soul searching, because now that we're here, we have a chance. We have a chance, you know, to open your mind, do some soul searching, you know? You know? Because by omission, you're condoning the violence in Gaza. You know, and half of you guys are not even well educated on desert conflict. But you know that there is a big issue over there. The desert is a very hard subject to tackle. And all of this started with warmongers, Kamala and Biden. I didn't see anybody going, no, don't send those missiles. I didn't see anybody going, no, please. Make sure the taxes and prices are raised so we can need welfare. But the longer you sit in silence under those two tyrants, you were, you know, basically condoning it. To me, you know, why let the little guy suffer? You know, if one's, you know, omitting to refuse them, you know, can't you imagine what people beneath your status are living like? It just gives know-it-all. That's all it does. It doesn't show appreciation for your neighbor. It doesn't show bipartisanship. It doesn't show appreciation, you know, for your in your patriotism. You know, when people say, you know, call your local leaders, they really meant it. They really meant it. And you never picked up the phone once. But I guess if it makes you feel better now, knowing that that happened, you know, all the things that needed to come into play came into play to get to this point. You know, And I don't feel like, we should have to worry about our kids going to school. Like, look at Mexico. She did the same thing Biden did. Promise, 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 and never lift a finger to actually make an impact. Now they're fighting for their kids to have an education. A person who would go that far to close schools, and they sat in silence. So now, we're fortunate enough that we have a different and I feel really bad because we have it completely opposite of what they have. We have an actual president who made a big change for us, and now he's continued and determined to do this, and we just need to step up our game. That's all it is. Instead of talking, about it to each other, be about it, do something. Help your local government, support your president, his coming into office as a 47th, his second term. Show your pride, be aware of all the issues, and continue to build community. People like to cam up and how they say make a TikTok about it. But, sometimes it's good to, like, just check into reality and kind of appreciate what you have. Because, like I said, as compared to other countries, our outlook is very, very brilliant. Especially with the choice, you guys voted in favor for. People wanted the hostages freed right away. People wanted the J6ers freed right away. And people wanted to start investigations right away. Everything. And, all for people just at every news headline, they just throw up their hands in despair, complete despair, as if, like, he would be the one to let you down. And we all know, given the situation that Biden mentally was in, obviously, he was forced to retire. He couldn't have came in at a better time, and took on the burden he did, which was a huge amount of desk work. I don't know if you guys saw the live streams of him doing all that work, all that paperwork that he had to sign the first day. So the Thornton Township had another meeting, and an activist spoke out. And when he went to the microphone, he spoke, and then he turned because somebody was allegedly, her bae, Tiffany Haynard's bae, was standing out, sticking his neck out, and, basically, beating his chest. All for, the affectionado of Tiffany Hayward, knight in shining armor. So he gave for her. And somebody tapped him in the chest because there were people, civilians, citizens, sitting there. Some, they were older folk, and so when he's like, like I said, showing aggression, somebody literally touched him like faintly, and he threw a right hook. But we had already seen this play out because she had people like that around. Like I said, they were very aggressive and intimidating. They were literally stalking the citizens. They wanted to know how they were going to vote. And not only that, they wanted to change the vote. They wanted to apply pressure on the ballot. So everybody was really optimistic, but once they got there and they all got together, her people that follow her were literally talking and shouting them down. They were literally, from the top of their vocals, shouting down any opposition or any pressure or any competition or what have you, even though clearly people were trying to let her go. And clearly they gave her notice. She didn't need to serve any longer. They told her, you don't have to come, ever again. And for some reason she showed up yesterday. Or is today? Or was it today? Oh, I think she needed to show up yesterday because so she could, because Lightfoot had gave her investigation into Tiffany Hayward, which also was another, trigger leading up to this brawl. So now of course, former Mayor Lightfoot was like, obviously your banks were emptied for your township, and it was obviously Tiffany Hayward who accessed those accounts, buying luxury recreational items and accessories and extravagant gifts for herself. So by the time they had that meeting, everybody was already disturbed. They were bamboozled into thinking that this woman had common sense and, the utilities upstairs to know better, that they couldn't afford an ice rink for a small town. I'm not even playing with you. So, everybody was heard, and everybody was cheering each other on, and they were kind of passive aggressive about it. And eventually, like I said, once the activist spoke, He turned to find, a daunting criminal. Once Little Miss Ragamuffins Bay swung, Ragamuffin Mayor took her shoes off and started striking the man along with her little lynch mob with those shoes. I couldn't make this up. So today we're gonna find out, what's going on, if that changes anything, if it changes her position or anybody else's position. And there are calls for people to get fired. I'm just saying, check the surveillance. If these actions taken against democracy in that little town, if all these things happened, and you got a timeline, press for them to be ousted. Why not? We don't need vagrants, criminals, and violent offenders running any sector of our government. So, Storm Ewan, it was still affecting the UK. Like, I was literally seeing a live stream of flood. And also, we're getting this storm moving this way. It's moving from the Gulf to the East Coast right now. Like, Midwest is passing over. And so it's got heavy rains and thunderstorms. So you guys might want to watch out. It's going to be like today, Thursday, Friday. But I think it's going to lighten up on Friday. I hope it does. I hope. So I have a few more videos that I have rolling out. Be sure to check those out, and be sure to check out my my other videos I've made recently, and like and share them. I want to grow this community, and I think that we like to believe that things happen in an instant. We just wake up in this fairy tale dream world, and it's hard to face the harsh realities of what had occurred in the previous administration. We have to keep going. We have to be the leaders. We have to push forward and give it our best face, because put your best face forward, because right now is the time to start, you know, doing what you do best, you know. I think right now is your time to shine. I think right now is your time to make your mark in the world. Not just figuratively. I mean, really, right now, you have nothing to lose and, you know, everything to gain. Before, you had this, you know, like I said, you had this president with a mental capacity problem and really, 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 you know, horrendous tyrant in the making. And goodness, you know, I'm kind of glad that we dodged that one, like I said. But we don't have that anymore. We have something very, very positive for the next few years. And right now, you need to be working on you. You need to be working on, you know, what you can do for yourself in your world. Improve it a little bit and make it better. You know, be kind of like the leader of change. You know, and you know what I'm saying? Like you'll find your ways. It's just like your nature will lead you and guide you to making these things happen for you. You just need to have confidence in knowing that it can be. You can make it happen, because the more you find footing in, you know, using your inner strength to implement your ideas and creativity in this world, you know, you'll get used to using those gifts. You'll get used to perfecting that talent, that skill, and it'll just be second nature to you. And I think the more you see what you can do, the more you'll leave behind the past, how do you say, regret. And even if they're not your regret, you know what? Let those burdens go. Let those birds free. You know, pigeon's gonna pigeon. So, with that said, if you like this video, like, comment, share, and subscribe, guys. I'll see you in the next one. May sound different. Bye-bye.